They called her a monster, hair of snakes, gaze of stone, a terror lurking in the shadows. But was Medusa truly a villain of Greek mythology? Or was she a victim of cruelty, cursed for a crime she never committed? Today, we dive into the legend of Medusa, her origins, her curse, and why her story still haunts us thousands of years later. Medusa was one of the three Gorgons, daughters of the sea gods Phorcys and Ceto. Unlike her immortal sisters, Steno and Uriel, Medusa was mortal, fated to die. The Gorgons were described as hideous, with scales, wings, and monstrous features. But over time, Medusa's image changed. Later poets described her as once beautiful, a maiden whose hair was her crowning glory, until tragedy struck. The most famous version of Medusa's story comes from Ovid's Metamorphoses. Medusa, once a beautiful maiden, caught the eye of Poseidon, god of the sea. In Athena's temple, Poseidon assaulted her. Instead of punishing Poseidon, Athena turned her wrath on Medusa, transforming her into a monster with snakes for hair, whose gaze turned men to stone. This version paints Medusa not as a villain, but as a victim twice over, violated by Poseidon, then cursed by the goddess who should have protected her. It is one of the most tragic transformations in mythology, sparking endless debates. Did Athena curse her out of cruelty, or did she twist Medusa into a weapon of vengeance? Interestingly, Athena later used Medusa's image as her own protection. The goddess carried the Gorgonion, the head of Medusa, on her shield or breastplate to terrify enemies. Some scholars believe Athena's curse was less punishment and more transformation, turning Medusa into a figure of power so her suffering would never be repeated. Medusa's monstrous form became both curse and defense, repelling those who would harm her. Medusa's story ends with the hero Perseus, sent to slay her as an impossible task. He approached while she slept, using Athena's mirrored shield to avoid her deadly gaze. With Hermes' winged sandals and a blade gifted by the gods, Perseus beheaded her in a single stroke. But even in death, Medusa's story lived on. From her severed neck sprang Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a warrior. Her children, born not from love, but from tragedy. To the Greeks, Medusa was a guardian symbol, her image carved into shields, armor, and buildings to ward off evil. She embodied fear, but also protection. Over time, Medusa evolved into more than just a monster. Today, many reinterpret her as a symbol of female rage, survival, and injustice. Was she demonized because she represented power that frightened men? Or does her story reflect how victims are often punished rather than their abusers? Medusa has transformed from villain to icon, her image reclaimed in modern culture as a voice for those silenced. So was Medusa a monster, cursed to live in solitude and slain by a hero? Or was she a victim, punished for crimes committed against her? Perhaps she was both, an eternal paradox of beauty and horror, tragedy and power. Her story forces us to question the myths we inherit. Who is remembered as a monster and who is remembered as a god? In the end, Medusa's gaze still holds us, not because it turns us to stone, but because it forces us to face uncomfortable truths. Thank you for joining me in uncovering the story of Medusa. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to hear the next whisper behind the myth. Next time, we'll dive into another legend that challenges everything we thought we knew.